People are falling in love with AI partners and even bringing them to therapy. But what does this say about the future of intimacy? Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if you are new here, welcome. I'm Dr. Holly, sex and relationship therapist, and today we're talking about the rise of AI companions, AI girlfriends, AI boyfriends, and even AI-powered sex dolls, and what this might mean for intimacy and relationships. Over the past year, I've seen more and more stories about people forming emotional relationships with AI. It's been in the news, all over social media, in reality TV, and honestly, it's one of the most fascinating cultural shifts happening right now. But here's the question I keep coming back to as a therapist. What does this mean for intimacy, and is AI intimacy actually dangerous, or is it revealing something uncomfortable about what humans need from connection? By the end of this video, we're going to unpack all of this and three things, including why AI companionship is becoming so appealing, what research actually says about its psychological effects, and the real question couples should be asking when this topic comes up. But first, let's talk about why this is even happening. People think AI companions exist because people are lazy or antisocial, but what researchers are actually finding is something very different: loneliness. Loneliness has been called a public health crisis, and when you look at the data, it makes sense why technology is filling this gap. A 2026 meta-analysis in psychological medicine found that conversational AI companions significantly reduced loneliness and depression in older adults. Now let that sink in. Reduced loneliness. And there were no studies showing mental health getting worse. Now, that doesn't mean that AI is a replacement for human connection, but it does mean something important. When people feel heard, validated, and emotionally supported, their mental health improves. And even when that support comes from a machine. And I know that some of you might be thinking, okay, but that feels kind of creepy, or that's not real. And that reaction makes sense because relationships are supposed to involve two real people. But here's where this gets even more interesting. A randomized control trial of cognitive behavioral therapy, or a CBT chatbot, showed that college students who used the AI experienced reduced depression and loneliness compared to a control group. So the psychological benefits are real, but this leads us to a big insight, and this is what I call the judgment-free connection effect. Humans are wired to avoid shame. Think about how many people hesitate to tell their partner something vulnerable or hesitate to share their deepest secrets. Maybe it's a sexual fantasy, maybe it's a body insecurity, or maybe it's mental health struggles. Now imagine having a conversation where you know the other side will never judge you. That's what AI companions provide. In qualitative research, users describe that systems are a safe space to talk about topics that they wouldn't share with anyone else. No rejection, no awkward silence, no embarrassment, and that can be really powerful. But here's where this gets tricky. Safety and intimacy are not the same thing, and this leads to a second insight or concern that I have. AI companions have what I call the frictionless relationship. Real relationships have friction. They have misunderstandings, disagreements, moments where someone says something clumsy and you have to repair it. That friction, though it can be difficult, is actually how intimacy grows. But AI companions remove that friction. They don't get offended, they don't argue, they don't ask you to compromise, and from a relationship science perspective, that's a huge difference. Researchers studying AI relationships point out that these systems can simulate empathy, but they cannot participate in true reciprocity. In other words, the AI responds to you, but it never truly needs anything from you. And that may sound great at first, great, a relationship that doesn't require anything from me, but intimacy requires mutual vulnerability. Without that, something really important is missing, and here's where the conversation gets even deeper. People aren't just using AI for a conversation. Some are forming actual emotional attachments. Researchers have started calling this phenomenon Techno-Emotional Projection. Basically, when humans project emotional meaning onto technology that mimics relational behavior. And if you think about it, humans do this all the time. People name their cars, people talk to their pets, people cry during movies when People cry during movies when fictional characters die or go through hard situations. Our brains are incredibly good at forming emotional bonds, even when the other side isn't conscious. But here's the key question: does that make those emotions fake? Philosopher Eva Weber-Gusgar argues that people can experience genuine emotional meaning from artificial partners, what she calls affective partners. The emotional experience can still feel real to the human, which brings us to the midpoint of this conversation. Because now we need to talk about the biggest fear that people have. Is AI going to replace human relationships? Short answer, no, but here's the real issue. AI doesn't replace intimacy, it exposes unmet emotional needs. Think about the things that people say that they like about AI companions. They're consistent, they listen, they respond immediately, they validate emotions. Now, pause for a second and think about that. How many people in your life consistently do all four of those things? Exactly. Now, this is what I call the emotional availability gap. Technology is stepping into spaces where human connection has become inconsistent. And before anyone gets defensive, this isn't about blaming individuals. Modern technology and modern life makes connection harder. People work longer hours, have side hustles, and many friendships have become digital. Dating apps increase rejection, so when technology offers emotional responsiveness on demand, some people are going to gravitate toward that. But here's the important distinction. AI can simulate connection, but it cannot co-create connection. And that difference matters. Because intimacy requires something that machines cannot provide: mutual risk. Real intimacy involves moments where someone could misunderstand you, where conflict happens, and where repair is required. That's the emotional workout of relationships. AI removes the workout but gives you the results, right? And that brings us to my final insight. The rise of AI companions isn't really about artificial intelligence, it's about human vulnerability. When people feel chronically rejected, lonely, or emotionally unsafe, they look for connection wherever they can find it. And sometimes that's in therapy, sometimes that's in friendships, sometimes that's in online communities, and sometimes, increasingly, it's in AI. But here's the important thing to remember. AI companionship is not the same thing as intimacy. It can provide emotional comfort, it can reduce feelings of loneliness, it can even help people process thoughts and feelings, but it cannot grow with you. It cannot challenge you, it cannot truly share your life and build attachment. Real intimacy requires two people choosing each other, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's messy, even when it's hard, and if anything, the rise of AI companionship is reminding us how deeply humans crave connection. Not perfect connection, but real connection. So if you find yourself worried about technology replacing relationships, I want you to shift the question. Instead of asking, is AI the problem, ask this: what emotional need is being unmet here that people struggle to find elsewhere? Because when we answer that question honestly, we don't just learn something about technology, we learn something about humans and about ourselves. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips on sexual health and wellness direct to you. And as always, feel free to share this with someone who might benefit. And if you made it this far, please do comment down below. What do you think? Do you think AI is going to eventually replace relationships? Do you think that there is an issue with having AI relationships or a relationship with your chatbot? Thanks again for watching, and remember, you deserve a happy, healthy, and pleasurable and real life.